This is 100 watts and a wire.
Well, I hate to hear the sad news that you have a story to tell about an antenna. But I think this is,
Yep.
if you've been following along on our Discord server, you may see that Steve has done some sort of $6 million man thing to his antenna. And I'm not going to give it away. I'm going to let him tell you this story. We can rebuild it. So
We'll just build a new one.
Tell us what happened, Steve. What in the world went on? And anytime you hear a story about an antenna, you got to perk up.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like I said, on New Year's Day, I spent kind of the day on 20 meters. After getting back from being away for a couple of weeks in Kansas, I got ready for the 40-meter net on our, on the 100 watts and a wire Sunday night net. So I was getting things tuned up, and all of a sudden, my amp was not happy. It was kicking out offline and giving me high VSWR, and lo and behold, it was greater than 3-to-1, and it was like, okay, I'm done. Put a fork in it. I quickly stepped back. I went and grabbed my antenna analyzer and disconnected from the antenna switch, took a quick peek at it, and was like, oh, we're done. There's no way I can recover from this tonight. And it's one of those that it was like, well, we'll just have to deal with it and go from there. So this is an antenna I built back in 2015 and has been up in the air for this whole time. And it finally had a failure. And me being me, I took it apart. And here's the center section to, verify that everything was there. So one of the things that I did was I made a quick measurement. So on the double Bazooka, you can take an ohmmeter and go from your shield and your center conductor of your feed line. So this is where your coax comes up this way and feeds the antenna. You should see a DC short, 0 ohms or close to 0 ohms. Nope, open. It was open. So I went out and just basically did some more measuring. It was like, okay, could it be the feed line? Could it be the antenna? So, I kind of look at our radio stations, our setups as the triangle, kind of like the fire triangle where you have heat, oxygen, and fuel for fire to occur. Well, for radio communications, we got to have 3 items. We have the radio, which is the stuff behind me or here. We had our feed line. We have our antenna. So the radio triangle. So if any one of those doesn't work, you're not in the game. So I went and did some, went out to the outside and okay, yep, it's either open in the feed line or in the antenna. Bring the antenna down, check at the antenna, and it's open there. And lo and behold, here we are. So what ended up happening? Just keep it short and sweet.
He's like, bring the camera back to me. Bring it back to me. Look at this guy, isn't his new contract?
So we have the T, and in my video that's posted, you'll see how I put one of these together. Well, right here, right where my finger is, the center conductor broke because of the angle. The antenna was put into it was an inverted V, so the wire was like this, and after 7 years, it failed. So I came up with a new. I rebuilt it, or the only thing I saved from the old antenna was the T, and it's now back up in the air. And instead of RG8X as coax, I built it out of 213.
So and for the folks listening, though, about right off the tee of this antenna, which is supports it from the rope side, it's almost like a cross, if you will, and you're going to fasten the centerpiece to it, and then you've got the 2 elements coming off the side. So Steve is showing about 6 or 7 inches down on one side. What do you think happened? Did the wind get a hold of it to just bend it?
Yeah, I think over time as the so I had it set up that it was horizontal, and then it made a 45-degree bend. And so over time, as this kind of flexed, it just broke the center conductor, which is stranded wire. It wasn't solid. So with the redone, I've kind of factored in, I put in a little bit of a 45 degree drip between, or down loop between the two tie wraps. And the video kind of shows it a little bit better. And I apologize for the people listening. So trying to explain it. But yeah, just think of just kind of a T, and then the horizontal part of the dipole is fastened to the top part there, or the T, and then the leg that goes down is where the coax comes up from your station, is attached that way. And so it's all affixed to this T, and then instead of kind of bending it down on the form itself.
Teamwork.
Sorry, I'm grabbing your video.
And then it will kind of show. I just kind of eliminated that. So it was one of those things I thought about for quite some time after I built it. It's like, wow, is this going to be a failure point? And yes. So, but it's, we live and learn. But I got 7 years out of it. So now I have a new one. I just had 50 feet of extra RG213 laying around, some 10 gauge wire, and we just cranked it out.
Pump the brakes. Somebody just said I had some extra 213 laying around. And friends listening at home, I'm just going to say this is great. No, we're not judging here. I just want to let you know this is high quality coax cable. And we have to understand the situation that this brother was in right here. He had 213, which you can bury, which is used to be about $1 a foot, okay? Give or take. It's probably more now.
Yeah.
But a little bit more maybe even now in these days, because I don't remember. But it was about $1 a foot, I remember. Good stuff. This is military type grade stuff, and it's thicker than your RG8X. And so he casually threw this in there. Yeah, had some 213. Like, wow, this is the part where Steve Austin comes in, and it's like, we can rebuild him. So now your antenna can like run around the farm. It can like climb the ladder of the tower. Is it going to add a little more weight? What will going up in coax size do for that antenna?
Weight is the biggest, is one factor, and then it's a little broadbanded, so it's definitely it's below 2-to-1 on the band edges. So the full 40 meter band right now is below 2-to-1, and then I have another 100-foot chunk of 213 laying around again, and guess what's getting replaced here? Probably in the spring.
For complete episodes, subscribe where you get podcasts and click the bell here on YouTube for features and live streams.